It is March 8th. It is day 7 of the Trump presidency. Almost to day 50. I feel like the rounded numbers, the tens, those are accomplishments. Keep going. We got this. Or maybe we don't. We'll find out. Anyways, so Republicans have come up with a spending bill that will keep the government open until September 30th. Here's the problem. Democrats are going to fucking hate it. I mean, they do hate it. So, they're kind of like taunting the Democrats. I'm sure that they'll probably be threatening the Democrats. If they're threatening Republicans and their families, like, they're for sure threatening Democrats, like, no doubt. So what will happen? I don't know, because 10 Democrats voted with the Republicans to censure Al Green. Is it possible that people will turn coat? Yes, it is. I mean, again, my expectations, and this helps, it really helps. It helps manage your emotions, okay? My expectations are always for the worst case scenario right now. So I will not be surprised if the Democrats sell us out in any way. They're going to be pressuring them to do so, because they obviously, if the government shuts down, it's a whole huge fucking ordeal. So anyways, there's going to be bribes for sure. There's going to be all kinds of shit going down, and none of it's going to be good. And we should know more about that this week. Sadly, 1,000 people have died in Syria in a conflict between Assad loyalists and sort of like the new regime, the new security forces. They are trying to create a new government there, and it's messy, and obviously it's very scary. They put a curfew in place now after that conflict occurred. It's sad, because I know that they're trying to create something that looks more like a democracy, and that if you ever have a democracy, you should hold on to it, because once you lose it, it's really fucking hard to get it back. And it's hard to get a democracy going in the first place, because these dictator type wannabe bitches are always going to be trying to maintain and hold on to power. So absolutely, I hope that things are able to settle out there, but it does sort of seem like the entire planet is in turmoil lately. FEMA has unfortunately had to cancel their classes that train their representatives to fight fires, basically. So they have people that they send out to emergencies, and that's not going to be available, or they're not going to be properly trained. This is not the kind of stuff we want happening when the world is already like teetering on the edge of, constant global climate crisis. And, we're seeing there's just another huge wildfire in New Jersey. I think they have it contained. I don't even know what's going on with the wildfires in South Carolina and North Carolina. I think that there are still some fires going on in California as well. We just aren't hearing about it because of the constant barrage of shit show news that's happening. Anyways, very poor decision on this administration's part to start defunding FEMA when we need them the most. Apple and Google have removed International Women's Day from the calendars, which is today, by the way. Yeah. I mean, I don't have an iPhone, and I never will. And this is, again, like the list of companies that are just like, that apparently like want the fucking smoke. They want us to boycott them. Okay. That's no problem. We will. I mean, I've never liked Apple in the first place. But this kind of shit, it's happening all over the place right now. I heard, I just remembered this, so I'm so sorry this is not a headline tonight, but I heard people talking about this on TikTok. I didn't see a headline about it. Maybe because it's like still preliminary. I'm hearing rumblings that they're going to make being trans literally illegal. I don't know if people who aren't trans understand the implications of that. Like, you're next, bitch. Seriously. It's not far. It's not far off from like women can't talk or show their faces. And it's not far off from like Black people have to go back to using a separate drinking fountain. Truly. Like, this is what we're up against. Pro-Palestine activists have vandalized Trump's Scotland golf resort, and they wrote in giant red spray paint, "Gaza is not for sale." So they're making it really clear what that's about. Yeah, people are disgusted with the shit that Trump is doing, not just here in the United States, all over the world. It's fucking heinous. It's the way that he's operating is creating chaos and fear and sadness and loss and death. But I could have told you that before he was in office. I think a lot of us knew what was going to happen. South Korean President Yoon is now back at home. They have released him from prison. They're allowing him to await trial at his house. Just as a reminder, he called for martial law against his citizens. Shit, I can't remember why. I mean, the things he did were like super illegal and not okay. So they actually handle business. They stand on business there. They will handle him, and I'm sure he will face consequences, as he should. This makes me really sad, and it's the same kind of shit as what Apple and Google is doing, but unfortunately, DC is planning to paint over, essentially erase the Black Lives Matter mural that's near the White House. I believe it was painted during George Floyd. And U.S. Representative Andrew Clyde, who is a Republican from Georgia, basically threatened the building it's on and the city and said, you either paint over this or you lose federal funding. So the mayor of DC basically said, yeah, we don't have fucking time for this. Now they acknowledged like that they're being forced to do this and that this is nonsense, but they're just gonna comply. And it's all the same everywhere, right? Like, they're gonna threaten you financially, or they're gonna threaten your family, they're gonna threaten your well-being, they're gonna threaten your freedom, whatever. They're gonna threaten you until you get in line. This is not a news headline, but I went to Trader Joe's here today and there were no eggs at all, which has not happened yet here. I'm in Michigan. Every time I've gone, egg prices have been pretty normal, like $3 or $4. And there's always been an abundance. And there was not a single carton of eggs today. Ironically, I have a carton and a half in my fridge, so I wasn't planning to buy eggs. But, a look at things to come, maybe. I was thinking perhaps like the Trader Joe's here was buying from like local flocks or something. Maybe things are just getting worse. Here's the thing. If we can't eat eggs, you just fucking suck it up and eat some other shit. Beans and rice for breakfast. You can even put a little meat in it if you want to. A lot of the world eats rice for breakfast. Beans and rice, tofu, green vegetables, broth. I mean, there's other food in existence and we'll be fine. It's not great. And, I don't love the way that they're handling all of this, but it is what it is. We're going to make do. And like, there's other food. We'll be okay. South Carolina has just executed a prisoner by firing squad for the first time in 15 years. No one's been executed that way. They gave him a choice. Did they give him the choice of the electric chair or firing squad? I think so. So he chose firing squad. I don't know. Is there a good way to be executed? I don't know, because I hear horror stories about the drugs they use. I don't know if that's better. I don't know. It's disgusting. All of it's disgusting. But honestly, I think death is rarely, like, I doubt that it's pleasant very often. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how I feel about the death penalty. I have mildly mixed feelings about it. I think, generally speaking, violence is really wrong. I also think that the death penalty could be looked at as sort of merciful in some situations. Like, if the person is really, really mentally ill or has like murdered a lot of people, I don't know that staying alive is necessarily better for them. I don't know. That's a really complicated topic. I have not had truly strong feelings one way or another about it in my lifetime. But, you know, what I'd like to see, frankly, is a healthier world with less abuse of children, because really traumatized children that have been heavily physically abused are 1,000 times more likely to commit a crime, a violent crime in particular. So if we had more support for parents or more birth control options and easier access to abortion, we would probably have less crime. In fact, I can almost guarantee you there's probably already data about that. Because when you force people to have kids who can't take care of them, they abuse them often. Even if it's just neglect, or there is a woman, this is a horrible story, it's so sad. A woman here in Detroit abandoned 3 kids in a house just for years. I don't know how they survived. I refuse to read the articles about it. There's 3 kids in a house by themselves. I think they missed school that entire time too. She just left them there. Anyways, the world is kind of trash. So 25 people were killed in Ukraine by a Russian strike. And what is making this worse, unfortunately, is that the U.S. has paused our military intel to Ukraine. We were previously giving them any intel we had about Russia, but not anymore, because now we are Russia. So good luck, Ukraine. Hopefully the UK can help them, because otherwise, I mean, they should not count on the United States for a single fucking thing moving forward. The New York Times wrote an op-ed calling out Doge because they did a deep dive into what Doge has been canceling, targeting. And what they found was Doge is very specifically going after contracts, small businesses, contracts with the government that are owned by women and minorities, and canceling those. Is that surprising? Fuck no. Did you know that Elon Musk wants Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin? I mean, Elon Musk is a goddamn fucking monster. Did I talk about how Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan this week and said that the problem with the world is there's too much empathy? I'm sorry if I already said this last night. It's been on my mind. I actually have a video going viral about it on TikTok right now, because I'm fucking, my opinion about that is that Elon Musk, I believe that narcissists and sociopaths are on some level aware of the fact that they're different than other people. They know something's wrong. They may not frame it that way to themselves. I think what he's saying out loud is he feels he's superior because he has no empathy. Because it does allow you to move more freely. It allows you to trample on people without consequences, without internal consequences. And let's be honest, having an emotional response to someone else's pain, while I find it noble and beautiful, it is debilitating to your ability to take advantage of other people. He doesn't have that. But a world full of people like Elon Musk is a world that ends quickly. In fact, even just getting a couple of them in a room together, they're already fucking fighting. There's a bunch of headlines. I haven't done a deep dive into it, so I haven't talked about it here, but there's a bunch of headlines about the cabinet meeting that went poorly with Trump and Elon. I have mixed feelings about it, but now people are saying that it was like a huge disaster and that they're in like damage repair mode and yada yada. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them, but of course they aren't gonna like continue getting along. That's like two fucking cobra snakes getting along. It's not a thing. So, yeah. If the world was the way he wanted it, it would be over before it's fucking started. It would be a nuclear war and it would be done. And there would be nothing for them to eat. And by them, I mean the parasitic, sociopathic narcissists who need to eat other people's energy. They need to eat our life force. They need to eat the art that we create because they can't make it. They need to eat us. And he would starve. So I don't think he recognizes that everything he is, he has stolen. All of it. All of it. But he does know that there's something wrong with him. Anyways, creep. Absolute fucking creep of a human being. Speaking of him being a fucking creep, Doge has now accessed the child support database, which, as we know, they're planning to make it so that women who receive child support cannot file for their child on their taxes. So in some circumstances, obviously, women have full custody of their children and they're taking care of them 100% of the time. A lot of those women are getting very little. They're getting like $50, but they're receiving child support. And so even if the man is completely out of the picture, they are handling everything financially for this children and they're only getting $50. The man could now file as head of household for the children under his name, even though he does nothing. Obviously there's been like an outcry about that. It has not there's been no like law passed about that, but I can guarantee you that that's what they're prepping for right now. Makes me happy that I am a stubborn ass bitch who, I could file for child support. I will not do it. I have not done it. For a period of time, I made too much money. I don't know what he makes now. I think he probably makes a lot more than me. I don't want your fucking money. Keep it. I'm fine. And so when you're in that situation and you have 50-50 custody, it's every other year that you are able to file for the child. And that's what we've been doing. And I am fine with that. And I will remain a very stubborn person until I die. I can guarantee you that. Again, I'm fine. I own a house. I own a car. She has mostly whatever she wants. Am I rich? No, but I'm doing just fine. 5 former military generals who led the Department of Defense have called for urgent action because of what Trump and Hegseth have created as far as national security concerns. Like, there's a serious threat to this country right now. First of all, we're on the verge of war with literally everyone. Again, it would be faster to name the countries we're not about to go to war with. And second of all, what they're doing with Russia, where they're ordering us to stop collecting intel, ordering us to stop doing any kind of looking into anything with Russia, that's a serious fucking problem. I mean, all of it. It's all a fucking problem. Again, they're sounding the alarm, right? But to who? Who is going to do it? You guys better come out of retirement and help. I don't know what to tell you. Who do you think is going to do something about this? Not the bitches in Congress or the House or Senate. They're all fucking scared. They're just going to do what they're told so that they can keep, doing their insider trading. It's a sad state of affairs, but the reality is no one's coming. No one's coming to save us. I mean, I really appreciate people speaking out about this stuff. I'm not asking for them to stop. It's really important. It's really important that these motherfuckers get called out. And again, maybe some outside country will come in and save us or something. I don't know. I fucking doubt it, but we'll see. This is a weird story. And this is my last story, I believe. Yes. So China has announced $2.6 billion in tariffs on Canada now. Like, okay, what? I thought you guys were trying to like band together on the back end to keep this under control. But it's on agriculture and food. It starts March 20th. And it's in retaliation over a tariff that Canada put on China for electric vehicles. You know, China produces really good electric cars very affordably. And it would be life-altering if we could buy them. Also, same with cell phones. They have some like sick-ass cell phones. They are way ahead of the United States as far as their technology is concerned. I'm sorry, they just are. And they're doing some really sweet shit with energy, like green energy. Like whatever they're doing with something in space, like harnessing energy. I can't remember. But anyways, look it up. They're doing a bunch of sweet shit. They also just announced they released a nuclear submarine. I mean, anyways, they're doing a bunch of cool shit. And frankly, we're super far behind. And all of our shit is way overpriced. And I think that's probably why Canada is doing that too, because they can't compete with the craftsmanship of the cars and they can't compete with price. So if China is going to sell their cars in Canada, which I think they're not even allowed to sell them here at all. If they're going to sell their cars in Canada, Canada has to charge this like tariff just to like, you know, try to, I guess, maintain financially. Anyways, it's interesting. I read that and I don't understand the nuance behind it. Like, is China sort of just being like, fuck you to the West in general now? Maybe. Sometimes that happens. It's easier for me to understand this if I think about it in terms of individuals. Like if there's a giant fight between two people in a group of friends, sometimes it does like start to spill over around. And I do think all of the world is on edge right now. And perhaps China is thinking like, okay, well, if they're all taking this opportunity to work in their own best interest, we will too. I don't know. Time will tell. If this is going to turn into a fucking global trade war, probably. Thanks, Trump. Remember when everyone was saying, thanks, Obama? Oh, Lord. Well, I hope you guys are doing something fun tonight. I think I'm probably going to read. I'm tired. I might watch a couple episodes of the show first. I'm going to read a little bit, and then I'm going to get in bed. I have a lot to do tomorrow. It's going to be another big week of absolute fuckery out in the universe, and then hopefully no fuckery in our own personal lives, right? Like, that's why I'm keeping it real nerdy this year. Anyways, love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.